Well, joining us now with more on the rising tensions between Israel and Gaza are Stav Cohen, the Deputy Chair of Young Labor, and retired Colonel Dr. Reuven Berko, the former Arab Affairs Advisor of the Southern Command. Thank you both so much for joining us. So obviously the big question of the day is, I feel like a broken record here. This is the most, one of many, rise in escalations. One side strikes, another retaliation, swearing revenge. So where is this taking us? Where does this go? Let's start with you.
I think that the current situation is not taking us anywhere. I think for over 15 years, the government hasn't been planning long-term or pursuing any possibility. I think whether you believe that you should be firmer on the Gaza Strip and Hamas, or you believe that economical relief is the solution, or
Sure.
International intervention, none of those are really being used from the Israeli government in the Gaza Strip. We're responding every time Hamas is attacking, but we're not taking action on our own terms when we should be taking action. So
you'd maybe say we're addressing the symptoms and not the cause of the illness,
yeah,
maybe.
There's no policy, and we need a long-term policy. This is not, yesterday there were a few rockets launched, and it was published that Lieberman was doing meetings and consulting.
Right.
You're consulting as if this is something new that is happening. This has been going on for so long. This is nothing new to you. You should have your plans in order for this scenario, and you should really act before it happens.
Sure. Well, Dr. Berko, I feel like this is where your insight really kicks in here. So what do you feel? Where is this all headed?
Well, we are a bit spoiled, the Israelis. We were very much used to immediate wins in wars that took several days, several months. We are not used to the patience the Palestinians are now using against us. This is a terminology in Islamic world, and the struggle is about time. Who's the one who can overcome? Who's the society? Is it stronger? Actually, there is no magic formula such as this young lady offers. There are many smart people in the Israeli side. Some of them yet do not understand the mentality of this terrorist organization. They play on time, and they play deliberately on the poor people of Gaza Strip. There is nothing you can compensate or bribe the people of Gaza such to carry on a change in the leadership of Hamas. Don't forget that those people in Gaza Strip, and I served there so many years, I can tell you, I even personally know some of the leaders of Hamas organization. The agenda is no compromise Israel, demolish Israel, kill Israeli citizens. There's nothing to talk, actually, with the leadership of Hamas. If you would think about, let's bribe the people in order to change tendencies, it's illusion. Because the people are those who elected Hamas in the first place. They are planning to plant their representatives also in the West Bank. Why should we get into an adventure in Gaza Strip and fight for Palestinian Authority and let them in on the blood of our soldiers? It's a mistake. There's no alternative for Hamas, actually, in the field, because, as you can see, the young generation are raised to hate us against Israel. There's no solution or something, a magic solution one can offer on the left side, the right side. There's no solution. We have to study something from our enemy, which is the terminology of patience, sabr, which is something that we are stronger, we can carry on, they cannot. It's time for them to say enough is enough. Please, Israelis, stop this. We can carry on. The patience of the Palestinians, some of the Israeli left, is something that you cannot win wars that takes long time.
Sure. Well, look, I would say to that, although I'm sure you want to jump in here, I would say that, Israel is a very strong country, and we see rockets coming in and they get struck down. So
the society of Israel, mainly even those who suffer day by day from Hamas, those people can suffer. They want to see a solution, naturally. But slogans in the air, it's time for us to take a change, as if the whole story is up to our policy and decisions. As if we send, instead of 1,000 lorries carried with flour, electricity, and cement, this will bring salvation to the state, to Hamas, and Hamas will change their mind, and the supporters of Hamas will stop hating us and stop dreaming about demolishing Israel. I believe that we have to be a bit more developed in understanding the enemy.
Sure. So it sounds like you're saying that there's not really any sense of a diplomatic solution because there's no one to talk to.
Not at all.
But I've got to ask, how do you feel about that? Because
I want to also add, I'm a citizen of Sderot, and I think of myself as anything but spoiled.
Right on the front lines.
So my house was hit twice by a missile, and for many, many years we have endured these attacks, and we have endured this situation, and we have stuck it out. But I'm not looking for a magical solution. So bloody conflicts have been here since the history of man, since the beginning of time, and they have ended in some way. They have ended because some leaders took either a firmer approach or a softer approach or a different approach or anything to come to a resolution.
Right.
We have mediators like Egypt that are trying to
broker some kind of a ceasefire.
To negotiate with us, and we have the international community, which is more than willing to put its money where its mouth is. I'm not giving any specific solution. I'm not the defense minister of Israel.
Right.
I think that an economic relief for the Gaza citizens is essential. I think of people that are essentially closed, over 1 million people in a very tight perimeter. That's just a recipe for hate. I mean, we didn't do anything as Israeli citizens to elicit that kind of hate. But when you think about a person who's never left their city and they're not getting their humanitarian assistance, you can really see that that is not a situation that we can let go on. Yeah, we can't keep going like this.
Something to say about these nice words that you said. I can identify with what you said, mainly because you are a citizen of Sderot, and I served in Gaza Strip itself for several years, so I know intimately those who are fighting against. So I do not lose myself, even though I can identify with the suffer of our brothers in the south. Listen, the story of Hamas and hatred didn't begin because economic situation. Actually, they can go, and they should go, through Egypt. This was the situation before '67. Remember that when we made peace agreement with the Egyptians, they insisted on getting the last millimeter of what they had before '67. Our mistake was that we did not demand them to take the whole area. They wanted Taba till the last millimeter, if you remember that hotel. So we should go back to square one and say to them, listen, this is a global solution, I believe, that Gaza should go back. But one thing to emphasize at the end of my words here. The fact that Hamas members and Hamas citizens and Gazan citizens had the opportunity to go into Israel, work here. I remember 70,000 laborers were crossing the border every given day. 70,000. What let them do this? First Intifada, kill Jews. All those people who are now asking for help. I believe that we should go there, but since we withdraw to the last soldier from Gaza Strip, we have nothing to fight, to look for there. Those who are there should not look for rescue from those whom they want to kill. This is ridiculous to expect the Israelis, who should be the victims, to help those who want to kill us. This is ridiculous. It's time for us to think about.
Yeah, that's not what you said.
It's also not what I said. I didn't
say you said that.
No, I'm saying I didn't.
You feel that I say that you said that it is
you're
not right.
responding to what I said.
I believe that it is time for Palestinians to. This is a junction of truth.
I think we're just seeing how complex both sides are. No clear solution.
It's
in
we should
I'm sorry, but we have to wrap it up
till they take the right decision.
Sure. Well, on that note, let's wrap it up. I want to thank you guys both so much for coming in and talking about this very complex issue. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.